Hello and welcome to a quick review of One More Island by Berg Games and published by Freedom Games. And One More Island is basically a colony management game, so similar to likes of RimWorld, a little bit of Prison Archive and so on. It does not include combat though, it's very chill in that way. And it's also been married with a little bit of Anno, with the production chains, the islands, the fertilities, and transportation of goods. And I'll take you for a spin and show some of the mechanics and how the game looks. And it just came out on the 16th of May, and it's been pretty decent. I've played it a little, and I'm doing it to play some more as well. And by royal decree, join the Discord as well. Anyways, so let's jump in, and we'll do a new game. I do have a save game as well here that I will show a little further on in the game once we get through the base mechanics and so on. So here's your difficulty choices. You have a sandbox, easy, medium, hard, and a custom one. I'll just go with the medium one, which says there's occasional disasters. There's a few disasters such as plague killing some of your animals and heat wave killing crops and so on. I kind of wish there was more of them, and hope they add some more of them and maybe more interesting ones. Maybe fires and tornadoes and weather and stuff like that, but we'll see. And medium-sized islands and maintenance cost challenges you further, and then you can go harder and harder with the hefty taxes and so on. Yeah, basically you can see all the options here, what you can have. But we'll go with the medium one because it's an easy basic one. And then you have a choice of governors, which do have few modifiers on your gameplay, like the generalist Georgia doesn't have anything. Barry grows animals faster, but they eat more. Then taxes, research, and construction is faster. So we'll just go with Carl, because we want some speed, so we don't have to be here for a whole day. Let's just jump into the game. Alright, we'll just close off you. We don't need some help. And we'll skip you as well.
Your task. Well,
so that's the queen who is explaining you things. So this is our island, the Bribey Island, and you can see that there is also a more map to be explored. So there is one more island at least out there. What I've seen so far, it's been like 6, 7-ish islands on different maps, and the islands are like randomly generated and so on the map, so it's different for each playthrough. Although same base resources seem to exist on the main island, because it's kind of your starting setup and you need these to go to places. So this is the Bribey Island. You can see the map here, and I was telling you about the Anno thing with the islands and fertilities. So this is one island, and it has fertilities for wheat, apples, grapes. It has 3 deposits of iron, 3 deposits of stone, and then 2 deposits of coal, and 5 clay. And these change depending on the islands. So if you want to make tea, for example, you cannot grow it on this island because you can only grow wheat, apples, and grapes on this one. Actually, interestingly, this one does not have hops, so no making beer. We can make the beer, we just need to ship the hops from somewhere else. On my different playthrough, my main island actually had hops, so we could grow beer very easily there. But that means you just need to branch out to different islands. Alright, so you have your peeps in here, and you have a ton of them. We have currently 4 out of 8, and in your market stall here, you can just open the market, and you can hire more workers. They just cost bread. We'll just get let's get 20 for starters, to get things done faster. And yeah, bread is the currency for buying those. And we currently have, I guess, no bread. I guess that's all the bread. We had 12 bread for our characters. And the marketplace is where your peeps will get their food once a month. And you already maybe saw here. So this is Esther James. She's one of our villagers. And your villagers have different needs. So for example, she needs fish to survive. And then she has optional research points for cider, simple clothes, and bread. And once you move to the next tier, for example here, it says required for survival 2 fish, 1 cider, simple clothes, and bread. So all of these optional ones become required on top of the existing required one as you move to the next tier of population. This is very Anno-ish as well, with how the population is leveled up, or the housing is leveled up in Anno, it works same way basically for these guys. And then as you move to the next one, it becomes bread, sausage, beer, spices, and so on. Tea required for the survival, and then you need fancy clothes, preserved meat, coffee and wine as the optional one, and so on and so on. Until like diamonds and jewelry for the last one. So this is gets progressively harder, basically. Bigger and bigger production change to get those fancy goods that they need. But you also, you saw there, the next tier is like first tier needs 1 fish, 2 fish on the second one, and then a third one doesn't actually require fish anymore. So the better level ones don't actually require all of the basic ones anymore. They're like, this fish is beneath me, I only want sausage, beer, and some bread. I mean, who doesn't? Alright, let's check out some of the building things as well. So this is your harbor, which also kind of doubles up as your stockpile. So these are stockpile items here. You can select which item you put in there. You need a worker in there, and he's basically, this is where you ship items in and out between the other islands as well. And you can expand the zone. You're gonna build a foundation for it and so on. You find the same things in here. So there's all the zones in here, and we currently have a small field of wheat. We have the marketplace, and we have the harbor, and the basic need for the people was the fish. So basically we need to make a fishery, and we'll just paint the fishery zone here, and you need workers in there, so we'll plop one guy in there, and then we'll build like 4 fishing rods in there, and then we have the build objects which are required for these things. I'm actually gonna expand this by 1 tile, doesn't really matter. So we can now fit basically 4 fishers in here, and then you have a barrel, which is the storage for fish basically. So they fish a fish, they put it they actually leave it on the rod, and then they move it into here. So we'll make like 2 barrels in there. I should unpause. Let's just speed up the game at maximum speed. Wait for them to go and do their job. I'm also gonna check the construction menu here. I'm gonna remove those 2 trees out of the way. Actually, let's just remove all these trees in here. And let's just hammer this fishery together. So that's a very basic zone. And all the houses and production, they don't actually need housing themselves. They kind of live on the island. But all of the like buildings and production is built by the zones. So this was a fishing zone, and now that there's 4 roads, I'm gonna just put 4 fishing guys in there. Which will take some of the workers out of the pool. We have 12 who are not working, because 5 of them are here, 1 of them is there, and 1 of them is farming, I guess, and I don't know where the rest are. And then next we need basically wood production, which will be then a forest, so a woodcutter. So this thing actually grows trees on its own, and we'll just put it like there, like here. So this guy actually doesn't need anything, just a worker there, and you have a zone of wood cutting. This is one of my small complaints about the game. Some of these zones are very hard to see against the background. Like this one, you can kindly see it's kind of light bluish, and but the forest thing really blends in there. Especially if you zoom out, it's kind of hard to see. And it's kind of same on some of the other ones. And it would be nice if there was maybe a little bit easier way to see them somehow. And then we have a sawmill, which is here. So these are basically just outside zones, just a forest, a woodcutter, and then a fishery outside. This is basically the first building that we have to build, and it has the minimum requirements. Say there 3x4 area required, and then you can see the tiles. So these are the tiles. This is the 4x3 area that we needed, and it also shows the wall area around it. That is the minimum requirement. When I was playing this, I definitely preferred building a little bigger, because you then can fit more storage space and workspace inside, which I'll show you. And each building needs a foundation, both for walls and the floor. You also need wooden walls, which is very similar to like RimWorld, Prison Arcade and so on, building a wall around a building. And then I guess you need to also go in and out of the building. We'll just have a door over there and door over here. Actually, just click that way. There we go. Door here and door here. And then we have these build objects, which are all, you can see the required ones up here, and also with the icons. We'll put a worker in there. And you have a crate. So this is your requester box, basically, if you played Factorio or similar games. So this one is the one that requests your people to bring, for example, these logs to the sawmill. So I'm gonna put like, let's do like 4 in there. And they'll bring the raw material in here, because this is where this is the only building that requires logs, basically. So all these logs that we chop down in here and from the forest here will be brought in here to use as material. And then we're gonna need a saw table. So this is basically your work table, if you play the Grimworld. So we can put multiples in here, and then we can put like a second worker in here if I want to. And then you need a table, which is decorational, basically. Comes in handy in lots of places. This is purely decorational, but it's a required item. As you level up the buildings, as you can see here, there's more and more size requirements and higher class worker requirements. These are just level 1 workers, but then as you increase the tiers, some buildings require more new furniture, and some buildings require bigger buildings, and so on. Well, just because of the size of the stuff you need to chuck in the room, you also need bigger ones. And then you have an output box. So this is where the finished goods go. And we'll just build that quickly. So now we have 2 guys making food for us, so we can continue building whatever we want. And you can also use these storage boxes here. Like these are, this is the default one, so it's set for all the basic goods like fish, wood, and stone, and logs, and everything in here. But you can also build more in here. Also, on top of that, you can actually, even though it's not really explained by the tutorial or anything, you can also use these stockpiles boxes wherever. They're not tied to actually this harbor, but you can also just use them here if you want to, as extra storage. And this is basically how the basics of the game works. You just build more buildings, more and more. It tells you about incomplete, because there's stuff missing, like walls and so on. And then you expand from there. Like we could go and expand this wheat field, which is obviously not very big for us currently. And we'll do like that size. And it actually tells you how many workers are required for this. So if you don't have enough workers and watering, this will wilt and then die, and you have to remove the map by removing withered crops. So we'll put a second guy in there. So we'll have 2 guys on farming. And then the next thing we obviously need is the milling, and then a bakery to make bread, so that, well, we'll fulfill the extra need, which was the bread. No, we don't have that. So, we get some bread from making first flour and then baking that bread, and then we're gonna finally recruit more workers, because 1 bread is required for each new worker, and also the bread will give you research points, which will then unlock the research. So that's the very basics of the game. I'm gonna jump and load up my current playthrough save, so you can see some of the further mechanics and everything as well. So this is my current playthrough. This is about 6 hours into the game, and we have a pretty big island going in the center here. This is my main island, the Mornington Island. There's 115 workers in here, and I have explored the whole map on this one. So we have actually, what is this, 3 and 6 and 8 islands on here. So you can see again the fertilities, so wheat, apples, hops, and so on. And this time I do have the hops instead of the grapes. And if you go look at, for example, this island, which is my spice island, this one produces indigo, spices, cotton, coffee beans, diamonds, coal, and iron. And this is my tea island here, the booty island, random name, which produces grapes, tea leaves, and hops, and so on. And this is where we will be. I didn't have time to set it up yet, but this will be my tea island basically, and we'll be shipping the tea into the main island. And you can see we have these piers with the ports, same port that we built on the other one. We have a big one in here that I'm using kind of as my centralized stockpile at the same time, in the big city. And then there's another small port here, and these ports basically work as a way to go between the islands and bring goods. You can also use the ships. So I have numerous ships in here, and you can click on the ships. It's a little loud. And you can put an inventory in here. So if I want to, for example, take wood, we can just grab some wood from there. You can adjust the numbers. We can grab like 50 wood, a little more wood and maybe like stone in there. And then I could add like 4 workers in here if I wanted to. And send this to a... I mean, we can manually fill in people to the next islands. Or we can send that to the, for example, coast of this island. And then just zone a new harbor on the coast here. And with all the necessary things. And that's basically how you colonize a new island. And then you just move the items from the boat to the shore, and they will automatically just start building the harbor, and then you fill their basic needs on that island, and so on and so on. Where the complexity comes in is obviously the trading. So this is the research tree, or management, I guess, but also research is under the management here. You can also find the research button down here. Same with the trade. They're all either here or here and here, basically same button. And you can see the progression tiers here, and they unlock new things like stone paths and bridges and boats and sheeps and cows and piggies and all these different new things. And the ultimate goal is actually to get to the independence. So you are starting a new colonial nation. It's kind of the new world, Americas and so on, that you are kind of doing, and there's kind of this British queen that you need to declare an independence at the end. So that's basically the end of the goal as well, end goal of the run as well. Peacefully though. This one does not have any kind of warfare. So when you go to the trade here, you can see your all your islands and what they produce on this small window here, and then you can create supply lines. So I have a supply line of 1 here, which is this boat, and it's actually bringing 10 bread, cider, and clothes to the Keppel Island here from the main island, and then delivering. So it's picking up these, and then it's delivering these to the other island. And I'm not bringing anything back currently in this boat, because I want to make sure that there's always space in this boat to bring back for those items. And then I have the other boat line that's called Spice Girls Are Coming Home, because it's the Spice Island. And it's picking up all the spice and logs as well, as much as those you can hold up. We could probably do a 3rd one, and I will eventually probably do like diamonds or something in there, and then it's dropping them into the main island. So this one is hauling the spices that are being produced by these guys over here. So this island has the spice fertility, which I cannot do on the other islands, and they're growing like chilies and other things in here. And the reason why we also have this like bringing the clothes and cider and bread is here in here. While for this guy, for example, they are optional things, but the spice farming is actually a tier 2 production, as you can see here. So the guys who are working on that actually do require these to survive. So we do have to bring the cider, the simple clothes and bread to this island from the other island. We could produce some of that locally as well. Although it doesn't have a wheat production, so that's basically bread out of the way. And it doesn't have apples, so that's cider also. I guess we could have sheep for clothing. So you will have to deliver items between the islands back and forth to be able to basically just make your guys survive on the other islands. And eventually, once this gets tea, I need to bring the same stuff in here. I actually have the boxes here set up for the ciders and whatnot. And then eventually, once we get to like diamond mining on this island, we have a diamond over there. Diamond deposit. These deposits are also infinite, so they don't actually run out. And we'll need to bring someone to mine the diamonds. And I imagine that's probably like tier 4 guy, which then is gonna require all kinds of nonsense. And some of the stuff probably needs to be also back and forth. Like we need to mine diamonds in here, bring them to the mainland and produce something out of the diamonds in here, bring some gold in there as well, make jewelry, and then take the jewelry into the next place. And it starts getting complex. Like it starts simple, you focus on one island, you produce your things, and then you start shipping them back and forth and making these more and more complex things. And also, because animals are cute, there are some of our sheepies, some ziggies. There's some amazing randomly generated names for the sheep and the pigs as well. I've been having a laugh at some of the names. They're pretty special. But yeah, you get like wool out of these, and then piggies are sent to the butchers here, where you get sausage out of them. And so on. And there's my alcohol making, hops growing, my old hops field which is dying. my mass fishing project. There's a little well. That's the marketplace for this one. And some apple growing and so on and so on. Which probably need to be changed because I noticed that there was actually a patch for the game and changes some of the ratios for there. And we spread around throughout the island. Basically up here I'm mining this is my coal mining and iron mining here, and this is my tool production. Well, you're making iron bars and this guy's making tools in there. There's some stone mining and coal mining next to there. And yeah, this has been really fun so far. And obviously I've only scratched the surface so far. If you look at my research here, I'm about almost done with the tier 2, but there's tier 3 and tier 4 for me to still do, and there's all kinds of worker management and things I haven't done yet. But if you like let's say RimWorld and Annos and Prison Architect and that kind of colony management with a little bit of production stuff, I'm really liking this so far, so I can definitely recommend checking it out. It does have a few quirks here, I guess. Some of the UI could be a little better, some of the information could be presented a little better. But that's always every game has those issues with the UIs and things. Nothing is perfect, especially in this genre of games. Everyone has a little clunky UI, but it's kind of like in RimWorld as well. There's a lot of issues with the UI, but it's also something you get used to after playing just like an hour in, and I was like, okay, this works here and this works this way, and just needed to kind of wrap my head around how everything works. So. But yeah, it's on Steam. A recent release too. There seems to be a sale at the start of the release as well. So if you grab it now, I think it's 20% off for a little more for the initial week, and then well, then you'll have to pay the full price if you're watching this video later. But yeah, I can recommend checking out One More Island. It's been fun, and thank you for all watching this video. And if you like this video, check out the other videos, Let's Plays and everything else on the YouTube channel. And also, if you want to see me play games like this and all the other games, you can find me daily in the European evening times on the twitch.tv/Belaner, which is my Twitch channel. And also check out me on Twitter and all the other social media and things as well. Anyways, I'll leave you guys for now, and I'll see you guys next time, or on the Twitch channel. Go say hi. Anyways, goodbye, and thanks for watching.